Okay. I've made over 1,000 videos about the same thing. And the reason why I do this is for the sole purpose that as target individual, these people participating, involved in the program, have a job. Not only they make you experience things that you would not experience naturally, but then they want you to start identifying, meaning that you should feel guilty for whatever manipulations and reaction you're forced to experience. And then to do that, they start talking about all the horrible things. One thing you're going to notice with my channel is I'm far from identify with any of that. I understand that what I'm experiencing is an experience forced onto me. I'm what you call a target individual. I'm a human subject, meaning that I'm a test subject. I'm a test subject to a program that is utilizing defense technology with the sophistication that can do so much to you. It can manipulate your brain, manipulate your body, your organs, and so much more around you. Unfortunately, I've accepted that this is how sophisticated this technology is, and I am just a test subject to this. Now, this means that the people who are participating, who want you by any means to go and be subscriptive of this, will do whatever it needs to. I am surrounded what you call perps. Perps are contracted by these governmental entities. Their job is to push you to accepting these things, make you feel guilty for the reaction that they themselves participate for you to respond this way, to react this way. And that means that at this point, with whatever validation that you have, that they have these tactics of forcing people to get sexual reactions that are just so disgusting. And not only sexual reaction, but also mental thoughts and sensations that not just per se sexual immediately, but has a hint of sexuality. And these perps, immediately when these things happen, for example, this is the children of an old friend of mine. She has twins, a little girl and a little boy. Very wholesome, very cute. Indian little kids. She's Indian. The way they make me experience this is disgusting, especially little girls. So it's funny, they purposely restrict whatever they want me to experience toward the little boy and aim it toward the little girl. And the purpose is because the little boy, not too long ago, I myself was not raising per se, but I was dating somebody whose sister-in-law just had a baby, and we would babysit the baby together. That was a little boy. So doing that to that baby would be okay. It makes no sense. But with that being said, every once in a while they do these things. Then all I do is like, oh, look at the picture of me with this little boy. What happened there? Versus little girls. I don't remember the last time I never was in any little girl's life in the sense of I raised or whatever, but I've never reacted this way when I was around little girls. This is the things that make me experience today. And what they're doing now in my memories, what they've been doing is to go back to any memories where I'm around little girls and force me to get stimulations. And you know how nasty it gets? Like in my brain, because this technology, what it does, right, it just destroys not only your body, your organs, but your memories are being slowly eroding, just like your body. And so you are no longer remembering what you want to remember. Your memories can be not only erased, but manipulated. And so they're trying to make me think, remember the last time you saw a little Indian girl? I was like, well, you think I'm going to be like pinpoint? Oh, yeah, on 90s. Like, I've seen little girls of all sorts many times, but I'm not going to be like, no, on that day, that's when. And so they can change whatever memory or make me be in the argument, you see, you can't even remember. When it's like, what? I need to remember the last time I saw a little girl, a little Indian girl. And really making it hard for me, even though whatever. If there was any documentary about India, I will see little girls, and what they do, stimulations, change this memory to get the reaction I'm experiencing today. And then they have this trash who's like, "Our later girls." Speaking via V2K, these people not only do this pedophilia type of torture systematically, it's been a validation to hear that so many target individuals have experienced reactions or even manipulations that are pedophilia centric. Matter of fact, this morning when I wake up, I'm trying to stretch and they like start playing my genitals and then start like making me think of this little girl. The truth is, the nasty, foul truth, and that there is a problem that is beyond just what they do for this program, because the program tries to depattern you and repattern you in different way. They want to create a new version of you, and so they break you down using this pedophilia type of torture. So now the way I'm experiencing what I'm seeing here is just nasty pedophilia, especially with the little girl. And they want you to be scared because the way they try to create logic in your brain is something that you can't even understand. And you hear people like, "No, there is something there." It's like, yes, you're right. There is something. What would it be? What is something that will cause me to react this way? Are you sure that perhaps that something is not what these people do? Perhaps it's not the pedophilia type of torture that I heard that before. They truly use these childlike individuals because the humiliation and the rationality needs to be minimized. As a gaslighter, because that's what they do, you no longer have to go with the rationality. You no longer go with that. You have to dumb yourself down. You have to minimize any intellect that you have, any rationality. You minimize that to the fullest. Completely turn it off. And so when I'm invalidated with things that you're going to hear, they have to create some ways to go around that. With me, what they've been saying is, what you experienced, we're mapping to you when you were a child. Around when you were 13, 14, that's how you see things. Now today, because they've been doing it so much and sounds so childlike, they just no longer do that. They just go to my memories even as adults and just change the stimulation sensation. If you go into my channel, you'll see, if you search for memories, a lot of videos about memory manipulation. My first memory manipulation was in 2020, saying that what they're doing now is the things I'm experiencing today. They go into my memories and make me experience that in my memories and say, you see, just to fit this persona they've created. What's going to happen to me is going to be horrible. I've accepted that. The reason why is because the validation I have that they do all these things is just surreal. It's not even, it's like, it seems like it is beyond validated at so many levels. The validations are just magical. As these people literally even talk about my childhood, it's like, no, but but little boy, it's okay, because remember when you were 13, you were around the little boy, okay, you see, and then nothing, but remember 13, remember 14, when you talk about me as a kid. I'm a grown 35-year-old. I'm not a child. And I've been an adult long enough to know who I am, not even as a child, but as an adult. And this will not be experienced this nasty way. You are forcing me to get this nasty reaction toward this baby, especially the little girl. You forcing me to get this nasty sensation that you done to others, because there is testimonials that you done that to so many others. And so they send these retards. And I use that word without trying to offend people with mental handicap, but people who are mentally dumbing themselves down. Because they sold their soul to pedophiles. And I'll say that in more details why. These people around me, matter of fact, another validation is just they tell me how they're going to frame me. And guess how they're going to frame me? on par with the way they manipulate my brain. But like I said, they sold their soul to pedophiles, and you've known at this point why I keep saying that, and I bring that up all the time. Because these people will say, "Oh no, there is something. There is." You're gonna hear what there is. But before that, listen to how validating things are on my end. You're gonna hear this woman literally saying, they do this pedophilia type of torture. And I'll bring that a billion times if I need to, because for me, it's for any participant in this program to be humiliated by the reality so much. I want them to no longer have a sense of self-respect. I don't. You're going to talk about me as a child. You're going to manipulate my brain. I'm just going to bring up the reality of what these people do. Because with me, they wanted to go into the deluded ray of thinking that I was going to make sense of this retardation that they want me to think like. No. Listen to this. This is a woman called Mariana, right? And there's going to be more than that. As I'm saying that they're doing everything possible to disorient me. Let me repeat that. This is a woman called Mariana. She's a what you call target individual. She identified the same thing I identify, as in we're manipulated in these disgusting ways by these governmental entities. It's disturbing, but one tactic they utilize often is the pedophilia type of torture. This poor woman has gone through so much horrible things. The psychological torture is one thing, but some of the other stuff is even worse, in the sense that what they do to her body and to her mind, and the sexual torture. Now listen to, first of all, some of the psychological manipulation.
Or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as just...
Here she describes V2K.
V2K.
And what is V2K? As you heard, it's the manipulation of thoughts, perceptions, and you can hear the V2K is that you can hear voice, you can hear people interacting with you, right? For me, it sounds like people coming from neighbor apartments, right? And they sound very childlike. That's why I keep using the R word, because they sound like children who want you, they're like angry children that want you to believe something that you know is false. It's like, no, it's you. It's like that kind of like childlike interaction. Or sometimes there's this guy who's like, no, he will come and say things like just has nothing to do with anything, but just tell you, oh, you're going to be passed around, they're going to rape you, they're going to torture you. The reason why he's doing that is he wants you not to be aware that this is going to happen, but he wants you to think that because of that's going to happen to you, you should be acceptive of this manipulation. Right? It's like telling somebody, hey, the sky is red or the sky is blue, right? The sky is actually, the sky, you tell somebody the sky is red, but the sky is blue. It's like, no, the sky is blue. It's like you're going to be passed around, he's going to rape you, he's going to torture you. You understand that? That's the kind of fucking trash that they say. Now, whatever horrible things for me, I've accepted. I'm asking God, give me strength to deal with whatever horrible I'm going to go through, horrible things. But one thing is for sure, I am thankful that my life did not consist of doing what this low life do. Because what you're going to hear next is how they manipulate people to think in these pedophilia ways.
It's referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams. And
you heard this woman say the pedophilia type of torture. And it's disgusting, but that's what they do. You know, these perps are so nasty, but they're gonna get there. So it's obvious. The life they've chosen, they wanted to normalize it. They wanted to create this bubble of reality and think that this is gonna be a normal thing for them. There's no way this is coming for free. You know, the things that I had to deal with I'll talk about it in my next video, but it's just disturbing. But listen to how more nasty things in regard of how pedophilia-centric these trash are, in regard of the torment and the way they break us down.
It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. There are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it.
You heard what this man said. Sorry, it's a woman. It's a trans woman. She said that trying to change who I am make me have this thought of pedophilia. Now I don't care if they making her think of little girls or little boys, but you understand that they are making her think in this nasty pedophilia way. And he clearly said, I don't know how they do this, but I don't know if these neighbors, people surrounding me, are doing this. She's talking about neighbors, which is what I'm experiencing. I have these people contracted by this governmental entity that live around you, or that are participants living around you, and do these things to you. As I was listening to this, they were like, no, oh, they're going to do this. They talk about it. Like the V2K interaction are coming from these people that sound like they're your neighbors. I don't know if they're actually your neighbor. I don't know if they actually, maybe they're a few floors above or below. But they try to interrupt me because of the reality that they want to keep. You clearly hear that they have this pattern, that they force people to think in these pedophilia ways. It doesn't end there. Now, the next what you're going to hear is a man who have been interviewing targeted individuals. He interviewed 1,000. Out of 1,000, almost all of them said that they force child pornography into their mind. Listen to that.
Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds, and vice versa.
Almost all target individuals are forced to see child pornography in their mind. In their mind. Does it not show that perhaps pedophilia-centric tortures are utilized in this program? Oh, like this, he spoke to 1,000 or so target individuals, and almost all of them have said these things. Now, these people want you to subscribe to these reactions. When you have this kind of validation, it doesn't even end there. What you just heard is literally a majority of the people he talked to, he surveyed, which are close to 1,000 or so, 1,000, said that they are planting thoughts and imaginations of like child porn like things. Those are the same people who are in your brain right now, trying to convince you that no, we mapped it, it's you. The same people who are involved in a program where majority of target individuals who deal with this V2K and synthetic therapy are saying we are experiencing this child porn implantation in our mind. And this is why they utilize these people who rationality, intellect needs to be drastically minimized. And some of them are actually children. Because you can no longer be a rational, logical individual. I know it's your job to be retarded at this point. And I don't mean that word to insult people with mental handicap. I'm insulting people who have the ability to think logically, but are hired and contracted to turn into something else. And I'm so thankful that my life, as horrible my life is going to get, that I did not live life doing what this trash do. It doesn't end there. This is just step to step to some of the foulest thing you're going to hear. Now listen to this woman. This is a woman who lived in North Florida. Listen to the program of perversion she mentioned and who they aim it to.
So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing. And then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ASS. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today, they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children and homosexual.
You hear her saying that they do these things where it started with her dog. Actually, they gave her like weird sensation while she was petting her dog, right? Which are, I guess, sexual in a sense. And then she started laughing. It's like, yeah, I know what you guys are trying to do. But then later on, they started doing the same reaction and sensation, but start aiming toward people, young people, children, and homosexual. Children, you hear that? They did something with me with like actually like guys, boys, or like actually like homosexual like reactions where I get like sexual stimulation toward like a guy. I'm like, I don't care about that. This is not gonna faze me. I don't care. Well, I'm gay. That's not gonna break me down. So they really kind of stopped doing that. But initially, it was like, the worst part is when I was like in the interview, and I was interviewing this guy, and they started stimulating me. Oh my gosh! They started stimulating me like toward this guy though, and made me imagine like disgusting sexual. Not even disgusting, but they made me start imagining sexual things with this man interviewing me. I can see he turned red because he was a participant. But my point is, they do these things, and it's very much pedophilia centric. They do this pedophilia type of torture, and it's disgusting. They manipulate your mind and make you. Everything can be synchronized in ways that just matter of fact, this morning, like I said, I'm stretching. They start playing my libido and start making me think of these kids. All at the same time. It's crazy. But listen to this.
Form of torture. They coordinate the voices and thought manipulation with the physical torture. So that everything is highly synchronized in real time.
So they manipulate you in many ways where they can manipulate everything at the same time. It's just very precise manipulation. And this is the reason why they use human subjects. I can imagine that the level of precision today versus, in the early 2000s is on another level. They manipulate you in ways that you can even comprehend. And for me it's like, no, but you felt this sensation when you were a kid. It's like, and then today, because it's like 5 years later, 4 years or so later, 4 years or so later, they erasing my adulthood memories. So now my memories are now all inclusive of like this reaction I'm forced to experience today in my adulthood. And it's getting worse and worse. Your real memories are just eroding away, while this new version of memory are substituting. But these people are trash. They're just the lowest of the low. Death comes to all of us. Having to have lived the way they lived, in whatever comfort they're in, is not worth it. They were trying to make themselves be this femme fatale, fierce, strong woman. They are trash. It's so disgusting. They create these psyops, right? They create these psyops of, we are everything but this large government. And with me, it's been like, we're this, like, no, we avenge, we're protecting our girls. They torture children. They are destroying. Not only they do this nasty manipulation where they force you to get a reaction toward children, boys or little girls, but the actuality is these people do horrible things to children. Now, listen, I've understood that this is not done just to hurt and harm children. They are harming and torturing children, but it's also for the purpose of increasing the precision of this technology. With these babies, the first time I saw it, it was not as bad. Then I went back to say, no. And I was feeling in my brain, them tweaking around my reaction of how I'm perceiving this baby. try to create a way where things is felt more organic, tweaking around what kind of sensation would it be like more acceptive with, and going to my memories and like changing, like it was like a way to kind of calibrate everything the right way in regard of my manipulation. Their job is to find what is the things they can tweak around to make this reaction feel more organic. And so with time, because memories are being erased, you're being changed more and more, the memory of who you were are fading away. And so as you try to recollect how would you feel normally, they changing that memory. And so their job is to like tweak around and find the precise way to manipulate people to experience this nastiness. That's what this program is about. It's about the improvement of the manipulations. They are trash human low life. I rather die than in the worst ways that they tell me. And I know I'm going to experience some terrible things. But I'm telling you, there's a dignity in our death. There is an honor in this. This is biblical. When you see everybody around you have accepted to participate in things that are so disgusting, you heard what they do. Not only they dumb themselves down, then they want you to accept something that you've been so validated, and they sold their soul to pedophiles. I keep saying that because there's a lot of truth in what I'm just saying. These tactics obviously are meant to break you down and depowder you. It's part of how they can remove you from you and then change you into something else. And you have people of all sorts, even childlike people. You know, the most disgusting is when I hear these childlike individuals interacting with me via V2K, and they try to sound in this childlike, innocent way. I'm going to try to mimic. It's like, no, it's you now. And now it's you. Like, it's so disgusting. It sounds like the devil is using a child to try to disturb you. Now, of course, I know it's not a devil doing. It's just this child trying to make you accept this manipulation. But there is a feeling of biblicalness in this. That you, as imperfect as you are, as far from perfect that you are now almost a saint. Not that I'm a saint. I'm never. Listen, I am far from perfection. Very, very far. But they're truly erasing that because they want to make me be somebody I'm not. But what it makes me now is like, man, this is dignified. It's dignified. You know, with me, what they've been trying to make me subscribe to, and you're going to hear that, and it's like, no, what we're doing. Remember what you did as a kid. When I was in middle school, I was a freaking dumb middle school. I did one dumb thing to myself. As a 13, 14-year-old, as a 14, 13-year-old, I'm saying those numbers specifically. As a 14 or 13-year-old kid, I did some damn thing to myself. It was an impulsive moment of a child. Never happened again. They try to exaggerate that. They try to create an extreme version of whatever I did when I was a kid. Now, listen to what they do to children, by the way, before I go further.
A speech language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "Ow." I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during their separate sessions. During one session, I observed one of my 3-year-old clients suddenly grab his crotch and lean forward in his chair. And then he made a frightening grimace of severe pain. I asked him what was wrong and if he needed to use the restroom, but he said no to having to use the restroom and was not able to verbalize anything more due to his language delay. He looked puzzled and bewildered.
So you heard what they do to children, right? Now, this is what they do to children. They harm them, and it's all for the purpose of this program, is to get the results and the ability to precisely improve the manipulations of target individual. These ways of breaking people down are disgusting, but there's a purpose. There's a purpose that is specific to manipulation and controlling people. We are guinea pigs in this super sophisticated technology that can do so much to our organs. Matter of fact, that's the psychological is not only they're doing things to my organs, destroying my organs. They tell me how I'm running away, and that's because some of my organs are not functioning the way they should be. And that's because they're using this defense technology that is extremely sophisticated. Now, I said this number 1413, right? Talk about me as a kid, the stupid thing I did as a child. Matter of fact, when they when they say they mapping my brain, which you heard me they forced me to say this word, where they manipulate my brain and make me experience these nasty things. They say we mapped it to you when you're 14, 13 years old, and this is how you experience when you were a child. But I say today now they go even go into my adulthood and change memories and make me feel like, oh, you felt like that too when you were like an adult. But it's them changing the memory of me when I was an adult. You heard that noise campaign, the honking. This is part of this whole program because this person was trying to box in this false memory. But the reality is here. I said this number 1413 because in 2019, I believe, there was this bill that is aimed to stop this disturbing thing that's going on in the Department of Defense in the Pentagon. In 2018, right, there was a ranking that happened. Out of 3,000 U.S. computer network, right, internet network, the Internet Child Protective Service ranked the networks based on the amount of child porn that's being shared within those networks. They found out that the Department of Defense, the Pentagon network, DoD network, is number 19th out of, not even 3,000, but 2,900. Out of 2,900, the Department of Defense network is 19th in regard of sharing child pornography. So this bill S1413 was meant to help assist the stopping this to happen. Try to slow down this issue. Now, do I think that changed? Of course not, because they didn't need a bill to stop this is just not a priority, and pedophilia seems to be normalized in those kind of entities. Because if they were 19th in 2018 out of 2,900, I don't think they're much higher now. And it's just disturbing that even the necessity to even say the obvious thing that you're going to hear. Listen to the bill.
Recently endorsed and helped pass key legislation in Congress, the End National Defense and Network Abuse Act. The provision, authored by Senator Brain Schatz, D. High, and co-sponsored by Senator Lisa Murkowski RAK, is included in the annual National Defense Authorization Act and is expected to be signed into law. The End Network Abuse Act would assist the Pentagon in stopping the Department of Defense's DoD illegal use of the government network to view, possess, trade, and even produce child pornography.
You hear that? Do you hear this? Do you think they need a bill? A bill to stop employee at the DoD illegal use of government network to view, possess, trade, and even produce child pornography. Like, do you understand that the stupidity of like a bill needed for that? Please continue to listen.
Child sexual abuse images are being shared across the internet. Over 45 million online photos and videos were reported to tech companies in 2018 alone. The use of child pornography is not limited to the DoD, but data from 2018 revealed the DoD's network ranked 19th out of 2,891 nationwide networks when it came to peer-to-peer trading of child pornography. Child sexual abuse images are flooding the internet and almost no one is fighting back. The DoD is unequipped to deal with the level of abuse coming from their own network devices. A 2006 report from Immigration and Customs Enforcement identified 5,200 Pentagon employees with suspected use of child pornography.
So, you hear this discussing to assist stopping the Pentagon in stopping what's happening in this network. Now, it's obvious the Pentagon and the DoD had enough funding in the past to stop this. It's like they just don't care, and this bill truly is not going to change that. But it's good that I find this, because these specific details of being ranked so high and a bill needed, and they're not even trying to stop these employees from doing that on their own, in a private computer, on their own network, whatever. They're saying this is happening on the DoD network, even using DoD devices. These are employees of the Department of Defense going to the Pentagon, using the DoD network, using that network to do this nastiness, to trade, to pass around, and to produce child porn using this network. This bill is not saying they need to follow this employee at home and see what they're doing. No, they're saying while they are using the network on the computer that's provided by these Pentagon entities, they should be doing something to stop this amount of child porn circulating in this network. So you understand the level of disturbingness of what these entities have. These are the people working on this program with sophisticated technology that has the ability to manipulate our thoughts in every ways around. By the way, the name of this bill, S1413. That's when they say they are mapping me. Or they say, no, what you did when you were 14, 13 years old, and having to exaggerate what I did as a child. Well, this trash are literally working for entities where a bill called S1413 was meant to assist the Pentagon on stopping this disturbing issue, this disturbing pattern that's being seen on these networks, on the DoD network. Let me repeat that. This is not them looking onto their private computers of these employees or whatever they're doing whatever they're doing personally. is while they are in use of the DoD network, while they're using DoD devices, because that alone is overwhelming. Can you imagine what these people doing that on government devices, what they do on their private devices, on their personal devices? And that is just so disgusting. But like I said, these people have sold their soul to pedophiles. That's what some of this feels biblical. Can you imagine? You are validated in many ways, in ways that just beyond validation. You know that within this program, that is a program where they are perfecting technology that is manipulative of the mind and the body. They have been consistent in using this pedophilia type of torture to depattern a target individual and to repattern them in different ways. You know that it's not only done to you, but so many others have said exactly the same thing. The pedophilia type of torture is not a terminology I came up with. Then you have these people who come up with this gaslighting method. Now what we're doing, we're mapping you. Now you're manipulating my brain to experience something that I will not experience naturally. And you want me to identify to this. This is what this technology is all about. This is what this program is all about. It's about mind controlling and control the mind of people and make them acceptive of behaviors, not even behaviors, of reactions that they will not be reacting in that way. And they use these childlike individuals because you understand what I'm just saying. The perps, which are the civilian contracted to do this, need to dumb themselves down because the validation I have is validation that you can't even comprehend. You even heard the torture of children. So these people are involved in a program that not only manipulate people in these disturbing pedophilia ways, but also torturing children sexually. Then finding out the entities who are mining, who are manipulating or mapping, have had so much issue with pedophilia that this S1413 bill is meant to assist the Pentagon to stop this illegal use of DoD network of accessing, sharing, passing, and producing child porn. These people have been doing these nasty pedophilia things for a long time. And the testimony you heard are some of them as old as 2007. It's been consistently done that. Mariana was just 2018. These people, they have this system and this pattern of doing these nasty things. And in my mind right now, they try to counter. It's like, no, but you see what we did with mine is because we know it was deep inside of you. And then what we did is like we brought this, like, stop it. They are readjusting your brain, rewiring your brain to experience things that you would not experience naturally. This is mind control. This is controlling your thoughts, your responses. These reactions are reactions that will not be experienced unless your brain was being manipulated. Now, one thing I just want to wrap this thing up is one thing that you'll see here is these tactics also consist of trying to make you believe that this is anything but a massive government doing this to you. They want you to think that they're this group of femme fatale, fierce women, protectors of children that are just here to avenge for what you disgusting trash. As I'm speaking right now, they are telling me how they're gonna frame me with some 13-year-old or 14-year-old kid. I don't know. Like I said, it sounds like a child, like the devil has just like used to do this terrible thing. But it's not even that. This is not the child that we should look into. It's like the parents that will let their child be involved in this. But I'm glad they sold their children to pedophiles. You heard what's going on there. These people are disgusting and very pedophilia-centric. But listen to how they try to create these psyops.
They'll say, we're the Russian government, we're the Chinese government, we're evil aliens, where Satan's, satanic ritual abuse, and I've heard all the stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this.
You hear that? They're trying to make themselves believe, or make us target individuals believe, that this is anything but this large, massive government entity that happens to have a lot of problem with pedophilia. This program does terrible things to the most vulnerable, abusing children using defense technology, which includes sexual torture. But for me, it's been a way to see myself in this dignified way. Whatever they try to create, their fantasy reality has been so strong. It's funny. It's like, no, you abuse. They try to exaggerate what I did as a child. But you heard what they actually do to children. Suffocating a child? Making a child gasp for air. Then sexually torture them? This is what they're involved in. This is what they're participating in. This is the type of disgusting abuse that they even implement onto children. And they use this childlike individual who minimize themselves even more. They're already childlike. So now imagine a childlike trying to making themselves even more stupid. That's another level. Abusing babies. 3-week old. I didn't go through everything. It is disturbing. And they're like, no, what you did was abuse. Talk about a freaking middle school jerk-off kid. What they hear gasping, suffocating babies. 7-year-old gasping for air. 3-year-old sexually tortured, in pain. No. The reality of what they're part of, and the obviousness that there's a pattern, that these people are not here for the safety of children. Matter of fact, people in regard of safety for children are calling out that these entities have been having serious issues and are a threat to children. They're low-life trash. But I'm thankful that I got to see things for what they are. These nasty manipulations toward little girls or little boys. They do that toward any kids, but every once in a while they do this toward little boys and give them that nasty stimulations, and then it's like, it doesn't matter. They do that to little kids, period. But especially little girls. And they're like, no, little girls. Would you think that people involved in what you just heard are any way protective to children? To all my target individuals and to anybody watching this, stay strong. Do not break. But see yourself as the honorable, dignified person. Do not identify with this nastiness. However they try to create these things. This low-life bottom fears chose an easy way. But that easy way is going to come back to them.